Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we are setting out on a seriously profound journey into a foundational text, the Mahaparinirvana Sutra. We're going to analyze the incredible, and I mean literally mind-bending, capabilities achieved by a bodhisattva on the path to ultimate enlightenment. If you've ever wondered what it truly means to achieve absolute spiritual liberation and what that actually looks like in practice, well, you are absolutely in the right place. I want you to really think about that for a second. We've all felt it, right? You want to focus, but man, your body is just completely exhausted. Or maybe it's the exact opposite. You want your body to rest, but your mind is just racing with anxiety. We are constantly negotiating this heavy, tangled relationship between our physical form and our mental state. But what if your mind was completely free from the limitations of your physical body? And what if your body was entirely unburdened by your mind? Keep your own everyday experiences of these limitations in mind today, because we are going to explore the sutra's ultimate answer to this exact human struggle. Okay, let's look at our roadmap for today. First, we'll cover the supreme merits of nirvana. Second, exploring physical and mental freedom. Third, unconditioned compassion and purity. Fourth, decoding the Vajra Samadhi. And finally, ultimate liberation via non-attachment. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the supreme merits of nirvana, focusing on the context of the bodhisattva. So the text we're analyzing focuses on this overarching goal of great nirvana. It carefully outlines the precise merits, these profound spiritual achievements that a bodhisattva actually unlocks as they progress. And this progression completely sets their path apart from ordinary existence. The text describes this as gaining what was previously ungained, seeing what was unseen, and hearing what was unheard. We aren't just talking about surface-level meditation here or, feeling a little more relaxed on your morning commute. The sutra is talking about gaining capabilities previously completely unachieved in the human experience. It's about literally transcending the laws of physical nature as we know them. Moving right along to Section 2, exploring physical and mental freedom. Subtitle here is Breaking the Chains. Now, the sutra defines the second great merit of the bodhisattva precisely through the lens of liberation. It defines this supreme merit as ultimate freedom of body and mind. Essentially, it's a state where the mind is absolutely not dictated by the body's condition, and vice versa. The body is not limited by the mind state. I really want to make sure we grasp the deep meaning of this, because the original audience understood this as supreme, total independence of both faculties. They are no longer chained together in that constant reactionary loop we're all so used to. So I've got to ask you, does your mind control your body, or does your body control your mind? For most of us, let's be honest, it's a super messy mix of both, isn't it? When we're sick, we feel sad. When we're joyful, we suddenly have all this energy. Our physical and mental states are just constantly dragging each other around. But the sutra draws a really stark contrast here. For ordinary beings, the mind follows the body and the body follows the mind. But for bodhisattvas, absolute freedom of both. They are completely 100% independent. Think about it. If a bodhisattva is subjected to physical pain, their mind doesn't generate even an ounce of suffering. Or on the flip side, if they experience this profound spiritual sorrow for the state of the world, their physical body doesn't break down or weep. It's a total disconnect. Our everyday human condition is brilliantly illustrated using a super vivid metaphor right from the source text. The sutra says, like a drunk man, when alcohol is in the body moves and the mind moves with it. It perfectly grounds this dense philosophical idea in a totally relatable everyday example. I mean, if you put a substance in an ordinary body, the mind alters, right? If an ordinary baby has a small body, its conceptual world is small, but a bodhisattva has completely severed this automatic reaction. To wrap up this pillar, just consider what this level of independence actually allows. While we feel trapped by our physical bodies, the text states that a bodhisattva's mind remains completely still, even if they physically shrink their form to the size of a speck of dust or expand it to fill a 3,000 great thousand world system. They can project their voice across endless galaxies to teach, yet their mind never wavers. They never think ego-driven thoughts like, oh wow, look at me, I'm projecting my voice across the universe. It's pure action, but totally without agitation. Which brings us to Section 3, unconditioned compassion and purity. These are the middle merits. Now, you might be wondering, okay, a bodhisattva has all this immense freedom and power, but what do they actually do with it? Well, the sutra is crystal clear that this ultimate freedom is absolutely not for selfish isolation. The fourth merit introduces the 10 practices of purity. I'll summarize these quickly for us. A bodhisattva cultivates deep, unshakable roots of diligence. They maintain a resolute mind for enlightenment, and they see all beings equally as fields of merit. They systematically purify their environment, destroy past karmic remnants, sever future karmic ties, and purify their physical body entirely. They understand the true conditions of reality, leave behind all afflictions, and abandon the two extremes of existence and non-existence. So they are systematically purifying both themselves and the whole world around them. So this freedom isn't selfish at all. The third and fifth merits detailed in the text reveal that this practice is deeply rooted in unconditioned compassion. The sutra specifically points out that a bodhisattva abandons ordinary, worldly compassion, which, let's face it, often involves judgment, pity, or even attachment to the person suffering. Instead, they replace it with an absolute, unconditioned purity. They help beings not because they're attached to a specific outcome, but because it's the ultimate natural expression of their realization. All right, on to Section 4, Decoding the Vajra Samadhi. Subtitle, Indestructible Concentration. And this brings us to the real climax of this explainer. The Vajra Samadhi is the sixth merit detailed in our source text, and we're really going to focus on its deep meaning here, because it is the exact mechanism that makes this ultimate freedom indestructible. The text defines the Vajra Samadhi as an indestructible meditative concentration that shatters all afflictions and illusions, exactly like a diamond cuts all things. The word Vajra is incredibly powerful here. It represents this mythical, indestructible substance, often translated as a diamond or thunderbolt. It represents both the ultimate weapon against ignorance and a state of absolute rock-solid stability. This sutra uses these really beautiful metaphors to explain this samadhi. First up, the diamond. It cuts through every single illusion and affliction, yet it takes absolutely zero damage itself. Second, the high mountain. When you climb it, you get a perfectly clear, unobstructed view of all phenomena rising and falling. Third, the pure spring. Drinking from it cures all spiritual illnesses and karmic diseases. And finally, the ocean. Just as all rivers eventually flow into the sea, every other lesser meditative state naturally flows into and is absorbed by the Vajra Samadhi. These metaphors just brilliantly illustrate the multifaceted nature of this profound state. So the logical flow here is just stunning. By achieving this specific samadhi, the bodhisattva first shatters all illusions. Second, they master all other meditative states simultaneously. Third, this complete mastery allows them infinite physical transformations to aid beings literally anywhere in the cosmos. And fourth, through it all, their mind remains completely unmoving and unattached. It is the absolute engine of their ultimate capabilities. And that brings us to our final part, Section 5, Ultimate Liberation via Non-Attachment, the final paradox. We're going to tie together the concepts of supreme action and supreme stillness right now, because this is where the text really pushes the boundaries of how we perceive reality. The crucial point here is this incredible paradox. A bodhisattva transforms into infinite forms to save beings, traversing across universes, interacting with millions of different situations, yet their mind remains completely unmoving and unattached. They can engage with infinite phenomena without generating a single karmic attachment. They don't sit there thinking, I am the savior, or I am doing this grand action. The action simply flows perfectly from their state of emptiness. I want to let the profound weight of this quote from the sutra just sink in for a second. Although they see all phenomena, their mind perceives no fixed characteristics, because all phenomena are fundamentally without characteristics. This perfectly illustrates the absolute purity of the bodhisattva's perception. Even when they see what we would label as men or women or day or night, they do not latch onto those labels. They see the underlying truth that all things are fundamentally empty of a fixed, permanent self. Therefore, there's literally nothing for the mind to stick to. No friction whatsoever. Just pure, unhindered reality. Which leaves us with an absolutely incredible thought to ponder. We've explored how a bodhisattva achieves complete freedom of body and mind, rooted in pure compassion and powered by the indestructible Vajra Samadhi. So, I'll leave you with this. If you could interact with the entire universe without a single attachment, without any fear, anxiety, or physical limitation holding your mind back, what would you do with that ultimate freedom? Thank you so much for exploring this profound text with me today. Keep asking those big questions, and I'll see you in the next explainer.